It's in the chat. Give me 1 second to do that real quick. So our next story. Speaking of, this might be the most esports-esque podcast we've done in a while. But Evo lineups were announced. Here is the picture as far as like who is in it. It was announced this past Tuesday. Hang on a second. There we go. It was announced this past Tuesday regarding who exactly are going to be in Evo's main games. And here it is from top to bottom. Tekken 7, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Guilty Gear Xrd 2, Injustice 2, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and the one last spot went to Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is going to be the main 8 games that are going to be played at Evo this year. As far as will there be other games? Yes. There will be side tournaments. There will be a stage specifically for that, especially in the BYOC area. There's going to be tons of other tournaments that will be streamed at Evo. But these are the main 8 that will be on the main Evo channels as well as showcased. And one of the cool things, so one of the things about Evo, for those who don't know, is that more often than not, Mr. Wizard, that's his tag name, he'll throw in a game that is yet to come out or close to coming out. And he's been doing this, I would say, in the last 5 years, maybe more so. It was kind of surprised that they've put in Blaze Blue, but the kind of coming back on the previous Evos, most of the times in most Evos back then was majority Capcom games. So you had Street Fighter, Marvel, among other Capcom games, maybe out at the moment. And I saw a list of how many there were, and now to today, there's only one Capcom game, and that's Street Fighter. And majority of the other games are varied. So we got 3 anime games from ArcSys. We got Bandai Namco for Tekken 7. We got Injustice 2 coming in back. What else? Injustice 2. Yeah. And then we got the Capcom game as well. So it's interesting to see the kind of evolution for a second, or the evolution. It's interesting to see how...
Second unintended pun of the night, folks.
I know. It's interesting to see...
Put up that counter.
It's interesting to see how times have changed. And this is more of a settlement or more of a testament of people or game companies really upping their game and really able to diverse, events like this. As far as there used to be games that, the Evo that you wouldn't normally see on a stage. It would be set as a side tournament or not at all. But now times have changed. So we have 3 big anime games going to be on the stage, and alongside, your traditional fighters, with Injustice, with Street Fighter, and so on. So
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of playing fighting games, but I definitely look forward to Evo every year because it's my thing. My thing about sorry, I'm trying to think of how I want to say this. My thing about competitive things in general is I love watching the top tier players, which I'll talk about later during the East or the Overwatch minute. Tying it in.
Right.
But a lot of the games that were announced here are very I'm actually interested for the first time. I have to watch a fucking Tekken tournament, so there's that.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of Tekken.
I love watching Tekken. It's so good.
Well, Tekken 7 has impressed me this year. Mm-hmm. For the first time in a long time, I've been legitimately wow, Tekken looks really good this year. And I'm excited for future years. I keep thinking about what games could they possibly add, other fighters that we've heard of, and do you think Soul Calibur could ever be a part of Evo?
I mean, that was one of the rumors when they were announcing this Evo lineup, because Soul Calibur 6 was shown. I believe it's coming out this year, I want to say. But yeah, if anything, we'll probably see something out of Evo for Soul Calibur 6. More than likely during the Tekken finals or before it happens. Harada might come out there, or what's his name, and I can announce hey, here's a new character for Soul Calibur 6, and then maybe a release date, maybe if we get that lucky.
Yeah.
But
the game you're showing off right now, I'm excited about just because of I love crossover stuff, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And the announcers for that game are going to be interesting too, because that's the thing about announcers for any fighting game in general is like you have to know the game really well, especially if you're announcing an Evo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like there are so many different types of characters and franchises in cross battle that cross tag battle, I should say, that like it's gonna be fascinating to hear the announcers just like, and then he brings in their for this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's even more characters to be added to Blaze Blue cross tag battle. There's still like more characters to announce. Including like other guest characters. So this is only me wanting it to happen. If it happens, it'd be great. But hey, I would like to have a Skullgirls character in it because it is technically Skullgirls is under the umbrella of Atlas. So, but yeah, I would love to have that. That'd be cool.
Are you a Skullfighter or Skullgirls fans still pushing for Skullgirls at Evo? Still trying?
No, side story. Skullgirls. I mean, Skullgirls have not been like treated well at Evo ever. Even after they were at Evo that one year when they co-won the what was it? It was the donation drive, cancer thing. We raise enough money, you get into Evo. So it like since then, like Evo hasn't treated the Skullgirls game and scene not as great, and since then, we've decided that our Evo is going to be Combo Breaker, which is another big fighting tournament. It happens in Chicago in May, and that is something we form around as far as like this is our Evo. This is our thing. Gotcha. So screw Evo for what they're doing. So if it like as far as like when it comes to Skullgirls being Evo, we've all long forgotten about that and done our own thing. But with like a Skullgirls character in Blaze Blue tag battle, I think that'd be hilarious and funny, and I like to see that.
Do you think? And again, I'm not part of the FGC, so I don't know this well enough. Mm-hmm. And maybe the chat, also people in the chat who are part of the FGC, I know that there's some in there.
Yep.
Do you guys, and I'm asking chat included, feel that maybe Evo chooses their game specifically not on the game's quality, but on the game's popularity?
I'd say yes. I would also say money is involved, even though they don't say it. Their money does indeed involve when it comes to that. But I would say popularity is part of it. Yes, I would say popularity and money. I think that's probably the two base things actually, because when they were announcing the last spot, it was going to be they announced that Dragon Ball FighterZ was going to be over Marvel. And he even answered the question. There was a question asked to him, like the second half of the show, where they asked him, like, where's Marvel? And Mr. Wizard basically went out there and said that the reason why that Marvel's not in it is because there isn't enough players to support it, or there isn't enough support for the game. So you're
well. I'm not just talking about popularity in players playing, because you can still get enough players to do a tournament,
right?
But like, the chat's clearly like confirming my speculation on why the games were chosen. But popularity in terms of viewership, like,
oh yes.
Mighty Sandwich says viewership matters, and that's exactly where my thought process is going, which is why I was asking that, because I like to think that like Skullgirls, as good of a game as it is not as popular as the other 9 games that were announced.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, definitely. Like if you look up any like tournament, especially this past week, if you watch Battle Circuit, it is a weekly local tournament that happens in New York on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evenings. And the last 2 times that they've streamed Dragon Ball FighterZ, their peak was around 15,000 people watching, just on a weekly, just on a local. Now, if we're going Evo levels, we're talking Dragon Ball FighterZ alone is going to just ramp up so high in terms of viewership. So yes, absolutely. And that also means like the viewership is going to be high, so it means more eyes on sponsors, more eyes on potentially selling merch for Evo and whatnot. So the more eyes, the more viewers, the better the cash flow comes in. So
yeah, and that's exactly where my thought process was. I just wanted to confirm by you guys.
right. No, definitely. No, it's it's definitely something that they do keep in mind. I will say one more thing before we close this segment is that one of the coolest things that came out out of the Evo announcements was that the producer of the game, she announced that she's gonna enter Dragon Ball Fighters at Evo and compete with the other competitors. So, which is really cool. It's gonna be super awesome. So either she's gonna go through pools and like destroy people, or or she'll get beat badly by somebody, and then when she gets back to the studios, it's like, I'm gonna nerf this character. That's the double. So I'm pretty sure that won't happen, but like, it's really cool to see her going out there and that she's gonna be supporting the scene, but also she's gonna compete as well. So that's really cool. I really dig that. So, and I'll post a link in the chat for those who want to check out the video for those who might have not seen it. Okay, awesome.